Welcome back to Personal Branding in Motorsports. I'm TJ Fry, and if you're new to this channel, I bring you into the world of professional driving along with tips and tricks to help you grow your brand, sign sponsors, and build your career behind the wheel. Today, I'm going to show you a little bit about business cards, what you're going to need to make it happen, where you can make it happen, and of course, the things that you need to include on them. Here we go! Alright guys, let's go ahead and jump right into it. First and foremost, business cards are super important. It's a little tiny thing that ends up going a really long way. When you run into somebody just randomly on the street and are able to hand them a business card, it really looks professional, especially if it's a solid one. Now, there's several different kinds, right? I mean, you can have a really basic one. I don't want to give this girl's information away, but this is one on this company that I've worked with in the past, and as you can see, it's very straightforward. That's fine, that's professional. It's definitely not quite as thought out. So for example, like Joe from Blip Shift, shout out to Blip Shift, you guys are awesome. I met Joe back last year in down at Daytona. Those guys are awesome, right? This is a very basic one. They've got their logo up at the top, and of course the name, as well as their position, and then obviously their information on there as well. So there's a number of different ways to do it. Those are kind of some of the simpler ones. I'm just going to show you guys a bunch of examples and then show you mine and let you know why I did the way that I did it. Now you can start putting graphics on there. I have only done a minimal amount of photos on mine, but for example, like this is one for a guy that I worked with, and as you can see, it's a two-sided card here, but the front side is for the off-road expedition experts or the overland experts. These guys are awesome. They do a lot of off-road training. I've worked with them on military programs, as well as you know, just like Jeep off-road tire launches, stuff like that. So these guys are legitimate, but you can see it has some information on the actual card itself, what they do, how they do it, kind of gives you an idea of what they do. Now that being said, once you actually look on the back of their card, you can see there's Ted's information, and you can also see like what he provides. So it's got a lot of good information there. But if I'm honest, the one thing that I don't like about this card is that it doesn't provide a picture of Ted himself. It does provide a picture of what the company does, but I have no idea what Ted looks like if I've just seen this card, right? Hopefully I've met him in person and he's given me this card. But as you can see, I mean, I've got just tons of cards from people over the years. I mean, just like everywhere. So it's really helpful if you put a picture of yourself on the card, because all the cards I have with someone's pictures on them, I pay much more attention to, and I'm much more likely, I've noticed anyway, to look at that card and go, oh yeah, that's that guy, I remember that guy. Now, corporate cards are pretty straightforward. They kind of have the same layout. I have to block a lot of this because it's a big company, but basically they'll have like the logo, and then they'll kind of have the basic information. So up here is actually the name of the gentleman, and then over here is his contact information, and pretty much every card you ever get from a Toyota person will look just like that. So that can get really confusing too when you just have no idea. It's like all the same from everybody. So that can be a challenge. Definitely a good idea to, what I like to do is try to snag a photo on my phone and connect the two and just put them together in my phone, so I have a picture of the individual along with their information stored electronically as well. Let's see some of the other ones I have. Here's a guy I met on the plane. This is just a random dude. He and I kind of hit it off. We're both from the Montana area. Very simple card. As you notice, a lot of really simple cards. It's not necessarily about having a really busy one. God, there's just tons of good examples in here, right? So you've got, right, pretty simple information here. You can see the layout is usually includes some sort of logo from the company, but beyond that, it's just kind of like basic information, name, position, and then of course phone number, email, website, blah 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 blah. Pretty straightforward. Now, Rick is from North Dakota, Rick Nodell. This guy, one of my favorite dudes. I worked with him in Bismarck about, I don't know, almost 10 years ago. That was 2010. But Signs and Wonders really does a lot of cool work, and those guys I worked with a lot in the past, so they kind of give you an idea of what they do. Point being, you could run through this all night, right? I've got a ton of these cards here. Let me see if I can pick out some of my favorites. June Mang, if you guys don't know, awesome driver. This is from when I met June back in 2010. June used to drive an S13 in Formula Drift, and he was arguably one of the nicest people I've ever met. Just super, super good dude. And I think always got kind of a bum rap on a lot of battles because he wasn't like a big name in the sport, but everybody loved June. And he was also the same guy that he would run his own program on his own and kind of handle all his own stuff and would never really ask for help because he was too nice to do it. But you can see that was one side. This is the other side of June's card. It's very straightforward. It has his contact information and a little picture of his car on the back side. Those are all great, easy ways to do it. Now we start getting into a little bit more advanced ones. I'm going to pull out some of my favorite. Let's see, that's Lindbergh's from photography. That's a little different one, so I'll show you that. Yeah, all right, cool. So these are the rest of the ones I'm going to go through. So you can get really interesting. You can get creative with shapes, for example. So you know, these guys, the rap agency I worked with for a couple years, and still have a great relationship with them. Catalan, awesome dude. He's the graphic designer. Now you notice this card is significantly different shape than any of the other ones that I've put on here. On the back, it just has the logo of the company. Now they're a design company, so you'd almost expect them to do something unique. But as you can see, it is definitely a different size than a standard business card. So you can do that if you want. The standard size is probably the easiest to go with, but if you want to get creative, by all means, go nuts. Let's see, and then Lindbergh, photographer for Speed Hunters, excellent dude, just in general, killer content creator, amazing photographer, does a lot with Formula Drift. That's one side of his card, and then of course you can see a bunch of his work on the back side. So that's kind of a cool one there. He is a photographer, so it makes sense that he would show off some of his work. Now this next one is this is from Josh Bryant, a guy who owned the ski shop that I used to ski for way back in the day. Josh Bryant owned Jibbage Pro Shop up in Boulder, Colorado, and it just basically has his information on one side and a picture of one of his athletes on the other side. You know, so that was kind of a fun one to give out, just a picture of what he does, really. Let's see, Troy Adams from Adams Motorsports Park. Now, if you are unaware of Adams, you can basically find most of their stuff online, but they do drift nights. They're a go-kart track based out in east of Southern California. Adams is based way out in like Riverside. They're a great little track. They allow drifting out there. You can go out there to test. They're really affordable. Troy, super great dude. I met him many years ago. He just loves all things motorsports. He's a great guy. But you can see the design on his card is pretty awesome. He's got a little layout of the track. In fact, I'll show you again. He's got a little layout of the track. Of course, the logo of Adams, little checkered flag in the bottom. Like, it's a little more graphically involved than most cards, but it is actually an excellent card as well. It's very straightforward and to the point. One of my personal favorites, I took my first driving school at the Bobby Orr Stunt Driving School, or Bobby Orr Motorsports. Bobby is incredible, killer driver, great instructor. He's a good old boy. And god damn it, can that guy drive. He's pretty much driven it all, and he's done a lot of film, stunt, precision work in Hollywood, TV shows, commercials, movies, etc. Great dude, and now he's teaching a course. This is the card from Gail Bowen. She was one of the instructors at Bobby's school. Now you can see, obviously on the bottom, they kind of talk about what they do: law enforcement driving, motion picture stunt, anti-terrorist, school driving, blah, blah, blah. So tactical stuff. This is just a list of what they do. And then they have their logo here as well as their website. But their logo, you can see, is very simple. right? That'd be easy to cut out if they wanted to. And of course, there's the name of everything. It fits on there nicely. Their address, name, and of course, personal information as well. There's no back to that card either. That's just a blank back. So you can decide to go one side or both. And then last but not least is my own personal card. Now, I've blocked out a lot of my personal information just for my own sake, but this is my own card here. And as you can see, it has basically all the elements that I talked about. So my name is big right at the top. It's super easy to find. And of course, it has my website, has what I do. I'm a driver and a personality for hire. My direct phone number. It has my email address. And then, of course, underneath, because I tied all of my social media to the same handle, I just have the little logos down there with TJ Drives. But you notice the biggest thing about this card is my frickin' face. Look at that ugly mug. So my face right there. And then on the back side, I just have my logo and the website. But if you look closer, Danny designed this card for me, and it has my logo all, I guess, patterned out down there. It's really, really cool. So you can see it when you look close. And there's a ghosted one that's bigger on the whole page. It's a pretty neat one. I really like this one. It's not too busy, but it does provide a lot of information, and it's a beautiful card. I really do love this one. Danny designed this for me, and I understand not everybody's going to have a wife, or I believe fiance at the time she designed this for me, that is a graphic designer. But all of this you can have done for you on Fiverr.com, and I'll leave a link to Fiverr down below. But yeah, that's about it. So in a good business card, you're going to want a couple things. Obviously, you're going to want your name, you're going to want your phone number, your email address, a website if you have it. For us as drivers, we want social media content, or ways to get a hold of us on social media. And we really, really, really want to have our faces. I can't stress that enough. The biggest reason I say that is that you're trying to brand yourself as whatever you're trying to brand yourself as, right? So if it's a driver or a motorcycle rider or whatever it is, you want to brand you. And the three things that people recognize first: your face, followed by your name, followed by your logo. So all three of those things should be on your business card. So anyway, that's where I'm going to wrap it up. Hopefully that was helpful for you guys. Do me a favor, like down below, comment down below if this was helpful for you. And of course, I will see you in the next one. Do what drives you and take it easy. Talk to you soon. Bloop. I was just winging that one, so I hope that was helpful at all. But yeah, those are definitely some good examples of business cards. And but there's let's see. I really kind of stumbled over that one.